Hi, and welcome to The Bright Balloon, a podcast where I'm sharing bright ideas for your balloon business. My name is Sarah Meyer, and I'm a balloon business owner like you, and I love the creative side of what I do, but I really love the business side, which seems to be the part where most people struggle. So I'm here to help. Each week, I'm bringing you an episode full of bite-sized tips you can use to make improvements in your business. I want you to make more money, eliminate stress, and learn along with me as we grow our creative businesses together. Welcome to The Bright Balloon, presented by 17 Hats. Hello and welcome to this week's episode. Today we are continuing on with our month that is curated by our friends over at HiFloat. And today's guest is a returning guest to the podcast, Jam, the owner of Garden Place Balloons. And you are going to love this interview. He is opening up about how he pivoted in his business to move away from the huge, luxurious installs and how he has found a happy home doing deliveries. Not only deliveries, but he's talking about how drop-off items and items that you don't have to install have kind of become the bread and butter of his business. So many usable tips are in this interview. I know I have implemented some of them already in my business. Really quick, let me introduce you to this month's curating sponsor. These episodes are brought to you by the folks over at HiFloat. HiFloat and HiShine are two of my absolute favorite balloon products that I use in my own business all the time. If you're looking to get more float time out of your helium balloons, up to 25 times longer, or want to give your decor a gorgeous, long-lasting shine, HiFloat and HiShine are must-haves. Huge thanks to HiFloat and HiShine for supporting the show and creating a lineup of trusted pros to share their stories this month on the Bright Balloon podcast. Thank you so much. Once again, it is so fun to have these awesome manufacturers coming on and supporting the podcast. So let's take a quick break and head over to the UGlue hotline and then buckle up because you are going to love all of these ideas, these practical, usable, money-making ideas brought to us by our friend Jam from Garden Place Balloons. Welcome to the UGlue hotline, where we discuss great advice that sticks, brought to you by Pro Tapes. If you have a question or some great advice to share, click the link in the show notes to call in and leave a voicemail.
Hey, Sarah, this is Beth with Balloons by Beth in San Antonio, Texas. I wanted to call in with a little tip, which maybe people already know, but I use all the time, and that is to make water weights for the ends of garlands. I don't love securing the end of a garland to the floor just because sometimes it can pop off, and depending on what the floor is made of, it can mess up the floor. So I double a balloon up. So I'll put a balloon inside a balloon, an 11-inch or even a 17-inch. I put it on a faucet, just like you'd fill up water balloons back in the olden days when I was a kid. And you make it about, 4 or 5 inches, not huge. Tie off the inside balloon and then tie that to the bottom of your garland inside your balloon cluster. And it holds it in place. Thanks. Have a great day.
Pro Tapes is a leading manufacturer of specialty tape products like Pro Gaff, Pro Artist Tape, and our favorite balloon tape, UGlue, which helps you create amazing balloon arrangements and decorations. You can save on UGlue when you use the promo code PODCAST at checkout when you shop at our friends havinaparty.com. Welcome back, Jam, for another episode. I'm so excited to catch up with you. We have interviewed before, but in case someone doesn't know who you are, give us a little introduction about you and your business.
Hello, my name is Jam Evangelista. I am the owner, creative designer, bookkeeper, all the things for Garden Place Balloons. We're based out of New York City. I have a warehouse style business, so I do not have a storefront, but I do have a workspace. And I've been doing this for going on 7 years now.
Yeah, and we couldn't stop chatting before we hit record. We're already 15 minutes into our non-recorded interview, but I'm so excited to chat with you. And one of the questions I had before we started recording, but I think you just touched on, is like, is it just you? Are you literally a solopreneur, or do you have help in certain areas?
So we were talking a little bit about how my business has pivoted. And I do have people who help me, and they all have their own balloon businesses. I have a really good support system in regards to that, so that when the installations do get larger, I do have people that I can call on. But do I have employees? No.
Okay, interesting.
The day-to-day stuff, the delivery stuff, like I don't have a delivery person. I am your delivery person. I do have a different cell phone that I text people and I'm like, your delivery will be here soon. And it's just me
You're
again.
like, it's also me. Hello.
Right. But I also do that to like set boundaries with just kind of like create a boundary before I get there so that it's not the expectation that this delivery product is gonna come with a full installation, because
Yeah.
sometimes that starts to happen. People don't understand that like this is like you paid for a delivery of a product that just gets delivered, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I do a lot of it, at least since I've my business has pivoted. I've been working a lot by myself. So,
Hmm.
but I do have people that I can count on. And my business wouldn't have been what it was or what it currently is without the support of those people.
Yeah, cool. Well, let's jump right into that. I'm so excited to talk about your business and pivoting because when you, again, I want to say when you first started, but like 7 years, you didn't just start. But when I started kind of seeing your stuff, it was those huge luxury events. It looks so sparkly and amazing. And I'm in the Midwest where like those don't really happen here. And you're obviously doing New York. But then I started seeing a shift on your Instagram. And one of the stories that stood out to me was when you said you were really proud you had a delivery every day that week. And that was the beginning of kind of me just noticing the shift of like, okay, you're obviously not doing a huge event every single day that week.
Mhm.
And then I've been following along, following along. And then I think anyone who follows you has seen, your recent stories or reels where it's like point of view your budget is $300, point of view you have 15 minutes to set up, and you're presenting your clients with very, I mean, I don't want to say cheap, definitely not inexpensive. To me, $300 for balloons is still a splurge, but more affordable delivery options. So talk about that. What happened and what is that intentional shift that you have kind of made?
Right. So I think that sometimes a lot of people focus on like how the market is oversaturated, and that's never really been my focus on what other people are doing and if other people are undercharging and all of that. That's never really been my focus. My focus has just been what is the issue that I'm being presented with right now. As I've kind of reflected on it, I do understand that probably the high end stuff, well, I think that they're not really happening anymore. I think that COVID was a really weird time. I think that when our kids read about this in history books, COVID is going to be like this like mini roaring 20s, where it was like it happened for 3 years and like just had this crazy amount of money to spend. I don't know if that's ever going to happen again.
Mm,
But when I first started, I was doing 10, 12 large scale events a weekend. And that's just not happening. I'm not seeing it anymore. It's
mm,
not like I'm not doing them and everyone else is. It's just not happening anymore. So if it's 1 month, they're probably seeing four in total in like my area, like these large scale events. And now with the draping and the florals, like balloons are kind of taking a step back from those
hmm.
large scale events. So, and if they are, they're doing a lot of like globes or orb stuff. So,
Okay.
I would say that all to say that my business was desperately asking me for a shift. Um,
Oh, I
and
love that.
and
I
I
think
think
it's
that
just a nice way to say that. I think sometimes people think like, "Oh, everything was bad. Everything was terrible. I needed to make more money." I like that you're listening to your business. That's a cool way to say it.
like I needed to just do something. And one thing that was happening was that like I see a lot of times on Instagram and I just beg of people to just really jump on opportunities. I remember 2 years-ish ago, I had taken your class like on how to do the grab and go business, because I just thought that like, oh, this is just something else that I can add on. And everyone that I spoke to that had a lot of success with the grab and go business was because there was a demand for it. There
Mm,
was never really a demand for the grab and go business in my business. And when I'm talking about grab and go, I'm talking about like the $100 balloon
yep.
garlands that, excuse me, that we all sell. But I wasn't getting that. So I was kind of pushing something. And I like really like I'm like I do the I was trying to make fetch happen with the grab and go garlands. And that was just not what was like it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Um so
never gonna happen.
Right, literally. So I was getting the calls for the two, three, four, $500 budgets, and I see that a lot of people, especially on social media, they kind of like make fun of the customers who call with these budgets, and I was just like, okay, this is what my customer needs. My customer needs an option that's not something that they have to install themselves. They need something that is like drop and go. And I had to be okay with kind of taking a step back from the artistry and just creating products.
Hmm.
You get 18 quads for $250. This is what it is.
Yeah.
Like you're getting the centerpiece, $55. Like I had to just kind of shift into that, like switch my mindset for that. Um, and it's been a huge success. It's definitely taken some time to adjust because um I wasn't used to seeing 256.99 as a incoming Zelle, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Right.
I wasn't like that was just not something that was a part of my everyday, but now I'm like, oh, full helium bunch, like a full dozen score, right? Like but it's different. It's a different kind of business, and I think that it existed before. When I started 7 years ago, like that was kind of like the old school mentality where they were like trying, like I remember sitting in my first class at Float and listening to someone talk about like selling helium bouquets that were already pre-made, and I'm just like, oh my God, like that's so boring. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like I can't. I was like, no, it's like that's not what the customer wants. And here I am 7 years later, and I'm just like, here's this, like you just had to pick the colors. It's the same exact thing. I just keep repeating and doing it over and over again. So it's not something that I made up. It's something that I just started listening to my elders, I guess you would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. I am like chomping at the bit here. I have so many questions, and I feel like this interview is going to be a lot of people's favorites, because I think this is something that's happening. Like I think a lot of us, even those of us in the Midwest who never had the $10,000, $15,000 jobs, like we feel this need. I think Party City definitely sparked something that people who had Party Cities in their towns are getting these calls for these people wanting helium today. And it's just something that a lot of people aren't equipped to do.
Mhm.
And not just helium, but like you hit it, like the $200, $300. I think that's a really healthy budget for an in-home party. And I don't actually have a lot of great offerings for that. And then the last thing I'll say too, interestingly enough, is I am struggling so hard with my grab and go garlands. Last year, I think I sold 75 of them. That was a lot, like every weekend I had 4 or 5, and I have a sweet setup with a grocery store where I just drop them off and then people come and pick them up. Like I sold the whole course. It was like a whole thing. This year, I'm not kidding. I have sold two. And I am just I'm just hitting my head against the wall. Like, I don't know why people aren't ordering them. I direct them there. Even when they do order, they have more questions than if it was just a regular order. And like, I'm to the point where I think I'm going to pull them off my website,
Yeah.
because I'm spending more time and energy getting people to order the pickup option than if I just delivered it and made more money on the delivery fee. So that was a lot. I just threw at you, but I think so much of what you're saying is so relevant to not just people who are moving away from the huge events, but people who are just feeling the need for these easier drop off items in their business, or feeling the shift somehow. So my next question, what are some of the items that you are having success with? Because I think that's a question everyone's going to have. Like, what are you selling and how can I also sell it?
So my two top sellers are the Ready to Party package, which is a foam board backdrop. You can personalize the message. I don't really have a character count cap on the personalized message, but I tell everyone that it should not exceed the standard happy birthday,
So
whoever,
and
right?
so. Yeah.
And it comes with balloons, and it's 475. I
And you
obviously,
customize it with your Cricut.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. That's about the only thing I know how to do with the Cricut.
Yeah. Oh, same. Yeah. I'm like a Cricut
Um,
newbie.
so I've just now that I've been practicing more, I'm getting really good with fonts, but um that's a good seller. But my top seller right now has been the freestanding balloon garland, which is it's 8 feet tall, but total it has about 12 feet, and I sell that for 250.
Okay.
It's I have a course on it that I just did live yesterday, and I'm selling the recording of it, but I think that that has been a success because it's the look of like these like garlands,
Mm-hmm.
but feels attainable with like if you get the look for I guess the look for less, but it's not because I don't put jumbos in them. I'm very conscious of how many 18-inch I put
I
in them.
wouldn't even say the look for less. I would say it's the look for easier
Right. So
because you don't have to install it. Like for you, that's the beauty of it.
and I can work on it on my own pace.
Hmm.
I know that for those of you guys who have delivery like businesses, this has been, you guys are like, yeah, duh. But for me, where I've always had to work on site in venues because this stuff is so big, it doesn't even make sense to prep anything. It's been like game changer because I can work on this on Monday for a Saturday delivery and I can take my time and I can
Yeah.
on FaceTime and I can scroll on TikTok and I can and it takes me like like I just work overall this delivery style shift has given me a new like sense of like freedom. Like
Yeah.
I'm home on Sunday by 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Never happened before. Like
Yeah.
Saturdays, I'm not out till 2, 3 in the morning. Like I'm done at 6. I'm done at 7, which is like just amazing. Also, the stakes are so much less.
Oh,
People
100%.
people are so much happier at that price point. Like I'm like, why did anyone tell me this before? Like, why didn't anyone tell me that $250 customer that and but I will say that the key is this is what you're getting. This is a picture of exactly what you're getting.
Hmm.
Imagine it in your colors, right? That has been the success because when that shows up, then they have nothing but to be happy with it,
Yeah.
right? Um, but the stakes are just so much less. People are so much happier with these smaller products. Like they just like there is a world which I know that like sounds crazy, but like in New York, it's like I have to say it to the people who live in the metropolitan cities. There is a world, guys, where they just want a helium bunch. Where
Yeah.
like they just want a garland. They just want to call them at that bounce place. Like they just want that. Like they don't want anything else. And they're gonna be so happy and they're gonna book you for every single kid that they have. They're gonna refer you to the friend. Like there is that world does exist and the stakes are so much less. You're not racing against the clock to like finish at a venue. You're not waiting for the rentals to get there. You're not like there's just so much less involved that I wish I would have known however many years ago
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
I was doing
awesome. Oh my gosh. So are you looking at yourself as a delivery business now or like you still do installs? You still do both?
I still do installs. I absolutely do still do installs. And I don't want to consider myself a delivery business, but I'm definitely tapping into the fact that I offer them.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. And I'm actually today's the last one, but I signed up for a Pinterest course because I don't know how to use Pinterest. And it's with Jenna Kutcher, who's kind of like a big podcaster instructor. And her course was I think it was like 20, it was like $25. It was super, super low cost. And when I was on the course live, I think there were like 8 or 9,000 people on that course. So I like run the math and I was like, she's selling a $25 item. Granted, it's not the same, it's digital and but she's making like $25,000 in a 4-day course. So it's like to say that you can't make a lot of money from small items just isn't true. I think it just determines it's just how you sell it, how you make it function and work for you. So let's take a quick break, but then if I can pick your brain a little bit about the delivery process. I know you still do the installs, but I feel like that's a little bit more familiar to people. I just want to talk about some of the pitfalls of deliveries, maybe some of the boundaries, how you get people to order exactly what you want, like all those things I think we kind of struggle with. So hang on, we'll be right back. If you haven't checked out Having a Party yet, now is the time. The great team over at Having a Party Wholesale carries a huge selection of high quality balloons and supplies to take your designs to the next level, including HiFloat, this month's sponsor. Plus, they're more than just a supplier. They're committed to education, helping balloon professionals grow their skills and businesses, and investing in our industry. And here's something extra. Get 5% off orders over $200 using the code podcast at checkout. Don't miss out on the latest and greatest in balloons. Shop now at haveinaparty.com and keep creating with the best supplies in the industry. All right, welcome back. And I guess we should mention too, HiFloat has selected you for one of their guests for their curated month, which fits hand in hand with what we're talking about, helium bouquets. And thank you to them because you're a great guest. You are part of their ambassador?
Ambassador. Yes, I'm a high float ambassador. I've been using their products for so long, so it only made sense that I kind of align with the brand and kind of show people how I make it functional in my business. And
Yeah.
my favorite product, really, I know that a lot of people love the spray, but I couldn't live without HiFloat, and the HiFloat bags have just been essential. Even my freestanding garlands, I put them in the large pink bags, and that's kind of how I transfer them from place to place.
Nice, nice. Well, cool. Well, I'm so glad that they selected you. This was such a fun interview. But let's talk more about those logistics because even that, you put a big garland in the bag, it keeps it from popping. I think it makes it look a bit more professional when you walk into a place. Um, what other tips do you have if someone like me is wanting to just kind of start offering more deliveries? I have the pickups, and you've already said something that I'm going to steal. I have the grab and goes. Like I told you, they're not working. I love that earlier you said drop and go. I kind of think that that communicates to a customer as well. Like, no, no, like this is a delivery. You are getting the thing and I am leaving. I'm not like tying it to your fireplace and arranging it in your house. So, what other kind of crafty tips have you come up with that just make this work?
Well, I've done a lot of them, but at this, I haven't had. I think that I have more issues with pickups than I do with drop-offs.
Mm,
I think that because the product is already assembled, um, it doesn't really lend itself for much complication. It's just kind of people do ask me like, "Oh, are you gonna like inflate it here? You're gonna assemble it here?" It's like, no, it's like like the conversation's already had. So I guess like setting the expectation from the beginning, like as soon as the order is placed, is key to like not having many issues. Um, I have delivery windows on my website. I don't deliver with specific times.
how big are those windows?
3 hours.
Okay.
3 hours. Sometimes people ask for, and I haven't had like, right, like I'm just making this transition into the delivery business. So I'm very rarely, I think I've had it like happen like 3 or 4 times where I've had two deliveries within the same window.
Mm,
But I'm in a really central part of like the five boroughs. So I said this in the last one. New York is made out of five boroughs. I don't go into Staten Island. No one goes to Staten Island, but I'm like in this real like I can see the New York City skyline from the window of my studio. So
okay.
just I can see Manhattan, but I'm in Queens and I'm in this part of Queens where it's cleared. It's central, is all I have to say. But I haven't had like my location is pretty in a pretty prime location, so I'm able to manage it, but just offering those windows and kind of letting people know like I do make accommodations. Sometimes people want them like, "Oh, can you put me first?" And I'm like, "I'll see what I can have what I can do." And it's like literally just just just
You're like,
that.
I'll talk to the manager and the delivery driver and see if we can coordinate it. We're very busy. It's only
Right.
them. That's
Right. Like
hysterical.
I called the venue this week because I need to deliver these centerpieces earlier. And even that centerpieces, I'm like doing those as deliveries. Which wasn't something that I was doing before. Like I
Hmm.
never like just did centerpieces. And I'm like, we have a delivery really close by and we're gonna be there a little bit earlier than the time that we were given. Is there any way we could drop it off? It's like, no, it's just really close to my house and I want to be done with my day.
Nice. Yeah, right.
But um but it's I haven't like I said, I've had more struggles with the pickups. The pickups have really been the people not like I put it all over my website. You need to have a large SUV. The seats have to be down. Like I did a pickup one. I did a pickup. Well, yeah, like they picked it up, and there was like a car seat, a stroller, and I'm like, you came to pick up a freestanding car
Yeah.
like this? Like,
And
um,
I have found that people think that I was like they thought I was just like a retail, like a brick and mortar. So they would come kind of whenever. And I'm like, no, I have been waiting for like 2 hours looking out my window like a crazy person. And now I have to go pick my kid up from school and you're still not here. And I'm so stressed out about this $100 garland. So I quickly got them out of my house for pickups. I was like, I hate this so much. But um yeah, it's still I do like the idea of the drop off. And I okay, okay. I have so many questions. I'm so excited. The first is, are you leaving all your framework behind?
yes,
Okay. So whatever's in your garland, and we won't say what, you have to take the class.
yeah,
Um, you're not going back for that ever. And then helium obviously is self-explanatory. The other thing that I'm looking at on your website right now is you have e-commerce.
yes.
Okay, talk about that because I think a lot of people they are overwhelmed by it or it doesn't work for them. How is it working for you?
How do you measure? we can edit this out, but how do you measure if something's working or not? Like, I guess you don't know really. Like, how do I know? Like, is there
No, I'm not
a
editing this out because when I say it's not working for people, I know dozens of people who have spent months getting a Shopify site on their website to have literally zero people ever order from it. So for me, my struggle is like, do I go through that energy to get something where they can just buy up front? Or am I still going to be emailing and calling with them anyway? And I just need to like quickly design it for them on the phone. Like, what? I don't know. I'm asking you.
It's
I'm
like
up
50,
for.
I want to say 50-50. Like
Okay.
what has happened is that like I've had people call me, "Hey, I saw this on your website. Can I order it?" And I'm
Hmm.
just let me just fill out an invoice and send it to you right now.
Okay.
I've also had people who didn't really understand how much balloons cost, and they literally shop my website, and then they don't like shop it on like they don't shop it on the like on the website. They'll be like, here's a list of all of the things that I want from your website. So in a way, but I also have people that just book on the website, right?
Okay.
So in a nice way, it's kind of like I call it a guided shopping
Oh,
experience,
cool. Okay.
where like here's kind of like all of the categories. That's kind of like general pricing. Whatever you want on there, like you can just order it, or you can call me and I can kind of just walk you through any additional questions that you have. So my e-commerce, yes. Do some people order off of there, like, and just do what they want? Yes. But a lot of people, I still find myself having to kind of talk to people, which I'm okay with because I do understand. I feel like a lot of times, at least especially back when I started, like automation was like the thing. And like,
Hmm.
I don't want to talk to customers, like just book through my website, just look through my website. And I think that we've lost a little, like, I think that a lot of the reason why like we lost a little bit of that customer service and like some of the shifts in the business. And sometimes when people like, I'm so slow and I don't know why. And it's like, yeah, it's because you're not really offering customer service. Like,
Yeah.
and
Well,
I,
I agree, but also I am that person. I hate talking on the phone to people. I would rather die. But
same, but
I also like money, so maybe I should get over that, huh?
right. So like I'd be I'd be embarrassed to say how many times I've like sent color swatches, but like once you tell me a specific address, I'm like, oh, where's this going? And it's like Fifth Ave, and it's an apartment. I'm like, I'll sit down and we'll go through color.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. Well, I like the e-commerce, but the reason that I'm asking is because I know, well, for me and for a lot of people listening, I think it's like, oh, I just set up a full e-commerce thing to get this going. But I think you could be fairly successful if you're using whatever system you're using now and you're
Right.
just I mean, it's just like any, instead of delivering to an event, you're delivering to a house and the
Right.
balloons are already done. I think what you said is like key of having the item, not just like, oh, kind of what do you want it to look like and how full? And it's like, no, this is like 18 quads on a stick. Like this is what it is, and have those clear photos.
Because sometimes people don't want to talk. Like, and sometimes I think that we've also like I think that I talk to a lot of people who struggle with sales, and it's just like, yeah, it's because you're too invested in it. Like
Yeah.
you're worried about how I'm gonna make this plus, like you're worried about how like you're gonna make this extra special. And sometimes, again, like kind of what I said, is people just want the helium bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Just want like they just want the column. Like they just want to know what it's gonna look like. They want to pick their colors. And one thing that I'm gonna switch on my website that I haven't switched already is that, and I'm gonna make this a mega tip across, is just like I did do this for helium, but I'm changing the colors to standard colors, like shiny, like, and I know that shiny green is related to a specific brand, but I think that for the customer, shiny gold, shiny green, shiny
Yeah.
pink, right? Like I think that all of these names that the brands have kind of put on them. Like we put them on their
Right.
on our
Chrome, Lux, Reflex. They
right.
don't know what that is.
They don't know
Yeah.
what that is. So, and it happens a lot to me with gold. A lot of people are like, what gold is this? And I'm like gold reflex, right? Or gold chrome.
Yeah.
And it's just like they don't know what that means. So I'm gonna go back to like going to my website and just like changing all the names to like what everyone knows them as.
Yeah.
Like light slash pastel green, lime green, dark green, right? Like all of these extra colors that I have on there, I'm gonna just kind of change them to what I
I've
think.
kind of started doing that. Like, I don't know that I really updated my color chart, but kind of internally, it's like dark blue is just kind of like, well, it could be royal blue, or it could be old Qualitex dark blue, or it could be like kind of whatever we have. Like,
Right,
we kind of pink, especially like, who cares? No one cares what pink it is. It's pink is
right,
pink or yellow, who cares? But,
right.
Yeah, I've had to go through that big time after I was mostly Qualitex, and then it was just like, okay, well, everything has these old colors, but like purple's purple. They don't care. Like darkish purple, whatever. We're gonna call it whatever we want. So yeah, I'm definitely inspired to, probably not go the e-commerce route because as, I think everyone and their mom knows, I use 17 hats and I love that system. It's totally working for me, but it's not e-commerce because it's invoice based. But I think if I kind of take the pressure off myself of like I have to have a well-oiled machine and all these orders have to come in automatically because like they're probably not going to anyway. If I just kind of say like, "Oh, it's just a regular order. I'm going to send in the invoice, they're going to pay it, and I'm going to drop off their balloons." I like that. I think it's appealing to have those weekday, not as, like you said, not as high stakes. Like it's kind of fun not designing an entire event and just being like, all I have to do is drop off this bouquet and it's like $100. Like feels pretty decent.
Right. And I think that to answer like the e-commerce portion of it, for those of us who are in like this point of their business where we have the warehouse business, but we don't have a storefront, I think that the e-commerce also kind of gives us a little bit of legitimacy that we have anyway, but I think that people struggle to see when you don't have a storefront.
Yeah.
So for me, the storefront like gives me that little bit of legitimacy where people like, oh, like there's a website and there's pricing, and this is not just kind of like he's not just freestyling these prices off the top of their head. There's a website where kind of like the pricing is transparent and
Mm-hmm.
can shop this, and if we want something specific, I can let you know how much that is. But there is kind of like a base, like a starting point for everything on
Yeah.
e-commerce. So
Yeah.
it's not working as an e-commerce, but it's working as something else.
As a menu. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. And I also need to get a Google number. I don't know why. I still just like use my cell phone because I rarely talk to customers. But then there have been a couple lately where I'm just like, cool, we're like text buddies now, or just like chatting on a Saturday about your kid's graduation party. And I want to jump off a bridge. So I feel like I do need to get some sort of secondary, where I can pretend to be the delivery person. But do you ever have people deliver as a gift for someone else? Like how flowers would be sent? Or is that rare?
I haven't had that, but I've had that. I did that one time for a little boy's birthday party, but I like am like allergic to like surprises. Like I personally don't like them. And anytime like, oh, like decorate this hotel room, but we're not gonna be there, and gender reveals, all
I
stuff,
oh
I just try to stay away from it as much as I can. It really makes me so anxious. So maybe I'm like subconsciously like repelling any sort of surprise.
no, there is a lot of extra pressure. You're like, wait, I thought I was signed up to do balloons, but now I'm signed up to like be the person in charge of holding the secret for the biggest day of your life. Like, no, thank you. I do not want that responsibility.
And it's like, oh, so you want me to deliver this balloon bouquet at 7 a.m. So when they wake up, this is the first thing that they see? That's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
that's a
So
lot.
funny. I think too, that's my problem is I always compare balloon deliveries to flower deliveries, but I think it's totally different. And I'm just now realizing this as I say it out loud because I think the majority of flower deliveries are gifts. Like you are sending flowers. And I'm always like, but how do you do that if someone's not home? You're going to knock with balloons, they're not going to be there. But like people aren't really sending balloons as gifts. They're ordering them for their own parties, right?
Right, right. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, and like, yeah, I think that Party City was trying to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to make balloon deliver.
Well, we saw what happened to them.
Right. But I think that balloons are something, I think it's like a personal choice. Like I've also like found that a lot of people don't really like balloons or like scared of balloons. So it's a little bit different. It's gonna take kind of like a revolution to kind of like make balloons as a gift.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like the idea of introducing some smaller items. And again, it's not like sometimes I just make things in my head like this whole, like, I'm going to start a delivery business. It's like, no, dum dum. You're just going to offer like one new thing the same way you offer everything else. Like, I've just started this year, I switched to 18-inch helium balloons only. Um, and that alone has made a huge difference for me for just helium because I, I think five 18-inch looks the same as 13 11-inch, but one takes, 3 minutes and the other one takes me a long time. Like it took me a long time to do that many bouquets or that many, quantity bouquets. So I've switched to just kind of the larger helium balloons and it's made it more appealing to me. I'm thinking if I tweak some of my items just to make them a little bit faster and more compatible with like a quick drop off. I'm also stealing your language. I love that drop and go. Like we're not charged for installation. We are literally knocking on your door and handing it to you and like you have to get it to where it's going or you have to meet me at the restaurant and put them out. But do you ever get sucked into helping anyway, or are you really good about those boundaries?
I'm not really good about those boundaries.
I
I'm not really
just
good.
took a sip of coffee. You're like, no, I'm not.
I try to get there before the customer gets there. A lot of times I want my high flow bag back anyway.
Yeah, I hate when they always are. They're so excited to throw them away. Oh, I'll throw this away for you. And I'm like, put that bag down or I'm gonna chop your hand off.
Right, so it's sometimes it's a little hard to not like to unbag things and not help them put it where it goes.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, so no, I'm not really good. I'm really like I'm really bad about it. I preach that people should be good about it, but I get really, really anxious when I'm there and I'm just like, how do I tell this person no, I'm not helping you?
I
I mean,
know. Yeah, it's hard when you're just like this little old lady and you're like, no, put them on the tables yourself.
right. Right. But I will say that I switched my helium to mix 18-inch and 11,
Okay.
because I feel like, especially in that everyday kind of thing that's happening with me, it relieves the pressure of having to have the balloons in that size.
I like that.
Because I was like, what was happening was I actually have a friend who has a store in Jersey and she has kind of adopted this all 18-inch. And I'm just like, yeah, it's happened to me though that someone like I do a lot of helium. Snapchat loves helium. They love helium. I don't know what it is. I've tried to offer them air options 100 times, but they just are,
Hmm.
they love helium and it's yellow and white. And there have been times like yellow's not really a color that
Mm.
a lot of stock of. And
Yeah.
they like asked me for a last minute order and I didn't have 18-inch yellow, or at least enough to do like but then and they'll ask for like 10 dozen, right? So
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, this is exactly why I'm doing the mix, because had I not done the mix, I wouldn't have been able to fulfill this order, or I would have had to been stressed out running all over the place to fulfill that order. So like that mixed helium, I think I come from the organic world, so anything that feels organic for me or like has a lot of texture is what I kind of gravitate towards too anyway. But from like a logistical point, that's
No,
kind of
that's
where.
smart. I mean, and I just I couldn't believe yesterday I ordered some Reflex Gold. Those 18-inch suckers are up to almost $2 a piece. And I'm like, you know what? This is not working for me. Like you throw six of those in a garland. I'm like, that was 10% of what I just charged. Like this is crazy. So I think, yeah, the having the freedom and the options, I think that's definitely something I need to think about as well. And I like, it has been a little bit of a sticking point when people see the price and you have to like explain, but our balloons are bigger and da 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 da. And sometimes they're like, I don't care that they're
Right.
bigger. So I think instead, yeah, maybe it is this idea of like we do mixed bouquets and this is the price. And that way I'm not explaining what each balloon costs. It's like, well, this is what you get. Like this is what it looks like.
Yeah, so and then people have been like liking it. I have to switch the picture on my website because the ones that I did on my website are not as nice. I've like perfected it. Actually using the technique that you did on Lily's subscriber thing, game changer.
Oh, thank you. My backwards helium bouquets.
Yes, a game changer. It's
Thank you. I will race anybody. Love people love to argue with me about that. They're like, no, but you have all your ribbon pre-cut. I'm like, you're wasting your time. They're
yep.
like, but then you arrange the bouquet. I'm like, more time wasted.
Game changer. It allows you to actually like it game changer, game changer.
Yeah, you have to go to Lily's where is it? Well, I it's on her Instagram, right?
It's the subscribers
Yeah,
one.
the Creative Heart Studio. I did a little course about how I do my helium bouquets there and I'm very partial to my method.
It's I literally preach it to everyone. I'm like, no, no, you have to do it this way now. I'm like,
Thank you.
it changed my life. It used to take so long. Like helium bouquets, I used to be like, oh my God, why is it taking me so long? And then it's like, I just tried it this one time. I was like, wow, that was easy.
Yeah, I can't do it the way that everyone does, where you like inflate all the balloons and then you arrange them. That would take me forever and it would look really bad.
That's why I like it would always look bad when I'm like, I don't know why I can't get this.
Oh, so
Uh,
funny.
but yeah, I think we went off on a tangent, but yeah, game
Well, this
changer.
whole episode has been a tangent, but I think it's so good. I'm really excited. I've gotten lots of tips. Um, and I think like it's harder for me to hear something where it's like, oh my gosh, I have to start from the ground up. This feels like something I can easily kind of fold into the mix of my business that's already working. My key takeaways have been your drop and go language, the idea of the texting, like communicating that you are coming and that, reminder you're going to drop it off. Like I think communication is key, and like obviously the service provider aspect. You just said so many things. I love the idea of the mixed bouquets. I'm excited to kind of try to integrate this into my business a little bit more.
Oh, thank you.
Well, let's take one quick break and then let's answer our final three questions. I don't Did you answer these last time?
I don't know.
Okay, well, then these will be brand new. All right, we'll be right back. Hey friends, quick question. Do you ever feel like you're winging it when it comes to client inquiries? Or maybe they book once and you're just hoping they come back next year? That's exactly why I created Stay Booked, a new course that teaches my complete plug and play system to help you book clients quickly and, most importantly, get them coming back year after year. I'll show you how to build a little internal sales machine that generates consistent and easy sales annually. This has become the backbone to my balloon business. You'll get email templates, an annual tracking strategy, my full booking and rebooking workflows, and more. This is like putting a little GPS tracker on every single client so you always know where they are in your process and what step comes next. You'll never lose track of a client again or waste energy thinking about what you should be doing. This is a simple, tech-free solution for getting consistent annual sales, and it's only $27. So what do you have to lose? Grab it now in the link in the show notes so this year you can stay booked. All right, welcome back. Let's finish with our final three questions. The first is your favorite place to go on vacation.
Cancun.
Cancun. Do you go often?
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love the Caribbean. I love the Caribbean. I'm anytime that I can go there, Dominican Republic. My parents are from the Dominican Republic, so I just like the Caribbean Sea, just love Cancun. But Cancun is like my favorite go-to spot. I go there at least try to go at least once a year.
Nice, nice. Second is for us shoppers out there, what's something you've purchased lately that you're enjoying?
It's, I mean, it's not really a shopper's, but after I haven't really shared this with the world yet. My close friends know, but in October I bought a house.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to buy one of those anytime soon. But yes,
My
tell us about
balloon,
it.
my balloon business bought me a house. Me and my
That's
partner bought a house.
amazing.
Yeah, so guys, you can do it. You just have to be disciplined. So yeah, I'm in it right now.
That's
Uh,
awesome. Is there any thought of being home based and ditching the warehouse and doing balloons out of your home, or that's not a reality?
I'm too far away from the central location that I think. So like for me to get to the studio, I'm about 30, 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And I'm okay with that. I love that my home is a home. I
Hmm.
love that my house is like clean. There's no like balloons here. I also love that in the studio space, I can like leave it as is and I can come back to it tomorrow. If I had to be in my home, it would have to be like a cleaning everything up and
Yeah.
oh my God, this is a mess. And so at least for right now, I'm actually hoping that within the next year or so, I can actually move into a storefront.
Oh, okay.
My rent is really high at my studio space, and I think I just have to grow up and just stick to hours. I think that that's been my struggle is like not wanting to adhere to hours. Working retail for 6, 7 years will really do some emotional damage on people. So the fact of having to sit in a store and like work hours is just like oh my God, but it's fine. I need to do it because I feel like my studio space in a way I'm super grateful for it and I love my space and it's been a blessing, but I feel like in a lot of ways the money that I do pay in rent is a waste because I
Mm,
have no like and I'm not paying it's not like I'm paying like $800 a month for my studio space. If
yeah.
that was the case I wouldn't complain. It's like comparable to a storefront rent.
Yeah, right. So you might as well have the visibility, is what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Cool, cool. All right. Well, last question. What is a tiny piece of business advice you'd offer our listeners?
um don't be afraid. Just post the stuff. That freestanding garland was really like something that I probably wouldn't have posted 2 years ago. And I just like it was like a really random mistake. Like it was an order that was canceled. They had ordered a different product. And I was just like, let me just see if I can make this into some sort of like garland like drop off. And it has changed the course of my business. It has changed the course of my life. So, and I know that sounds a little weird, like a little dramatic to say that it's changed the course of my life, but again, I have a portion of my weekend back, which is still allows me this the opportunity to go to like those evening events with my friends and family. So,
Yeah.
I went bowling the other day. On a Saturday. I was like confused as to why there were so many people outside. I'm like, oh, it's because I only bowl Monday through Thursday. That's why.
Do you feel like you have like ruined your brain though, that when you're actually relaxing, you're just like, wait, where am I supposed to be? I'm forgetting an event for sure. Or like your phone rings and you're like, I was supposed to be somewhere 10 minutes ago. Shoot.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
feel like I check my calendar like 5 times a day when I don't have balloons. I'm like, something's wrong. What's happening?
And it's weird because it's like that, or I'm always confused when I see people like when I go to restaurants, I'm like, why is it so full? It's like, oh, because it's Saturday. Yeah, it's like I'm almost offended. Like when I go to the supermarket, I'm like, why are there so many people here? And it's like, oh, it's like this is when the regular world shops.
That's
Like,
how I feel anytime though. I go to Target and I'm like, what's wrong with these people? Doesn't anyone have a job? But then like I'm there too. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm here on a Tuesday at, 10 a.m. as well, but oh well.
right, right, right,
Well, congratulations. I think that's really cool that you have pivoted, that you have started doing what works for you, and it sounds like it's really paying off not only financially, but for your social life and for your quality of life. I think that's great.
right. I wanted to make 2025 a personal year, so we'll see how that goes. We're halfway
Yeah.
through it, and I think we're doing okay.
Well, good. And where is that class for your garland going to be? I just want to make sure we can find the link if someone is interested in seeing how you make yours.
So the link is in the bio.
Asking for a friend.
The link is in my bio.
Okay.
So on my Instagram, it's the first link is just a direct link to my website. The second link, um, right now I did record the class yesterday, but the link is still there. I'm gonna make that link the class.
And
So
your
anyone
garden
who
place
wants to,
balloons on Instagram?
it's Garden Place Balloons on all
Perfect.
socials,
Perfect.
Instagram, TikTok.
How's TikTok?
I've tried. I really try. I think I'm not just not cool enough for TikTok.
Oh, I know I'm not cool enough. I didn't try. I'm like, I posted like one video one time and I was like, I think I'm done. I can't do this. I can't do it. The trolls are so real out there. I'm just like, I can't do it.
But I don't get trolls on TikTok. I get them on Facebook. Like the Facebook moms are eating me up
Oh
alive.
no.
But I have 14,000 followers on Facebook. I'm like, how did that happen? It
That's
happened
so
because
funny.
when I started talking about my pricing, like especially like that grab and go garland, like if you go to like facebook.com/garden place balloons, you can
Facebook.com.
you can see like these people are like destroying me on there. Like you would think I'm committing war crimes with like how like yeah.
See, I would just immediately take my post down. I'm like, no, thank you. I don't need this drama.
I love it. I let my intrusive thoughts win sometimes, and sometimes I argue with them in the comments.
You're like pinning the argument to the top. You're like, yes, bring it
Yeah.
on.
And what the best part is when they talk about how much I'm charging, I always go like, I'm monetizing Facebook, so you're upset that I charge 250 for this, but this comment is getting me paid
Wait,
also.
what are they arguing? That you're too low or too high?
Too high. Too
What?
yeah. Oh, take 3 minutes and just
Oh my gosh, this is like flashbacks to that balloon girl when she got like
yes.
destroyed on TikTok for saying what she charged for a mosaic. Oh my gosh, I could not. I'm not built for it. There's no way. I'm
Yeah,
getting sweaty armpits just having this conversation.
you just have to mute the notifications. And when I mute the notifications and when I'm bored, I go on there.
Oh my God, I could not. I could not. You are hilarious. Well, thank you so much for this interview. It has been wonderful. I am like, my wheels are spinning. I'm like going to go out to my shop right now and make some of these things, which I shouldn't do because I have a busy weekend. But I'm really excited. I think this is going to help a lot of people out. And even maybe people who don't do large events and only want to do this. Maybe they do want to start an exclusive delivery business. Sounds like a great solution.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
so much.
This was fun.
Thanks for listening. As usual, I tried to keep it bright and light. Our presenting sponsor is 17 Hats, the CRM I use to cut the chaos and manage my entire balloon business. From the lead capture form on my website to workflows and email templates, invoicing and grab-and-go garland automated bookings, it's all powered by 17 Hats, the best customer relationship management system for balloon businesses. There's even a 50% off coupon code waiting for you in the show notes wherever you're listening. I'll see you next week in another episode.